Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name remains Chidibere Christian, your lead math tutor for Premium Hill Academy. Hi everyone, welcome back to class. Today we'll be looking at Roman numerals. And before we start the class, I want to say a big thank you. Shout out to my friends, shout out to my guys who have been liking, subscribing and sharing the videos for others. I sincerely appreciate your efforts, right? Thank you very much for liking, for sharing the videos, for subscribing. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for helping me grow this channel to where it is today. I appreciate your effort. Let's look at Roman numerals today, right? We won't be doing much talk. We'll just get straight to understanding how to solve questions as regard to Roman numerals. So there are 7 important Roman figures we need to know. 7 important figures. I said the first one is what? Is the I, right? That's the first one. Second one is the V. The third one is the X. The fourth figure is the L. The fifth figure is the C. The sixth figure is the letter D. And the seventh figure is the letter M. Right? These are the 7 important Roman figures we need to know about. This one is number 1. This is number 5. This one is number 10. This one is number 50. This one is number 100. This is 500. And this is 1000. Right? These are the 7 important Roman figures we need to know. If you know these 7 Roman figures, we are good to solving questions as regard to Roman numerals. If you know these 7 important figures. So there are 3 laws. Aside for understanding these 7 important figures, there are 3 laws we need to know in Roman figure. The law number 1 says if we have a high figure, if a high figure appears before the lower figure, right? If we have a higher figure appearing before the lower figure, what we do is to add both figures, right? If we have a higher figure coming before the lower figure, what we do is to add both figures. So for example, let's take example, look at LX for instance, right? L stands for 50, X stands for 10, right? So since the higher one is coming first before the lower one, what we do is to add both of them. So LX gives us what? Gives us 60, right? That's for law number 1. If we're having the higher figure come before the lower one, we add both figures. For instance, you're asked to solve, let's take another example 2. Let this be our example 1. Let's take another example 2. Let's assume we're given to get the meaning of CXVII, right? Stuff like this. How do we get the answer to this? So the first thing to do, since we're having more than 2 Roman numerals or more than 2 Roman figures, what we do is to break them into 2s and breaking it into 2. So if you look at this first 2, the first 2 is CX, right? And we know that C is coming first. C is 100, X is 10, right? So what do? We add both, right? We add both the 100 and the 10. That gives us what? 110. Next, what do we have? We have VII. So if you look at now, V is 5, II is letter 2, right? Number 2. So this is 5 coming before 2. So what do we do to both? We add both of them. That gives us what? That gives us 7. So if we had 100 plus 7, 110 plus 7, that gives us what? 117. And the reason we are doing all of this is because of the first law. The first law that says if we have a higher figure come first. Look at the higher figure. If a higher figure comes first before the lower figure, what we do is to what? Is to add both of them. That's for law number 1. Let's look at law number 2. Alright guys, for law number 2, it says if we have the lower number coming first, lower figure, if the lower figure comes first before the higher figure, what we do is to subtract the higher figure from the lower figure, right? What we do is to subtract the higher figure from the lower figure. So let's take example. Let me explain what this means. So for example, Let's assume we have stuffs like XL, for instance. What's the answer to this? You discover that this is 10 and this is what? This is 50. So you see that this one is coming first, the lower figure is coming before the higher figure. So what do? We'll subtract the higher one from the lower one, read it backward by saying 50 minus 10, which becomes what? 40, right? It's going to be the higher figure minus the lower figure, right? Read it backward as higher figure minus lower figure. So when we have stuff like XC IX, for instance, what's the answer to this value? It's very simple. I said when we're having more than one figure, we'll break it into two, right? We'll take this section first, this section, and afterward we'll take this section and then we'll add both of them. So for XC, we discover that X is 10, C is 100. So since smaller one is coming before the higher one, what do? We'll take the higher figure minus the lower figure. That becomes what? 100 minus 10, which gives us 90, right? However, for IOX, you can see the smaller number is coming first. This is 1 and this is what? This is 10. What do? Subtract the higher one from the lower one, which gives us what? That gives us it gives us 10. Gives us 10 minus 1, which is 9. So at the end, what do? We take 90, add it to 9. That gives us what? Add both of them, we get our answer as 99 as the final answer. See how easy it is now. So when we're having the lower number coming before the higher number, the best for us to do is to subtract the higher one from the lower one. But if we're having like the lower one, when we're having the higher number coming before the lower one, what we do is to add both of the number, right? Let's look at the third law of Roman figure, or Roman numeral, as you have it. Let's talk about the law number 3, right? So for law number 3, it's very simple. Law number 3 says if we have same figure repeating itself, what we do is to add all the figures. So we add repeating figures, right? So when we're having repeating figures, what we do is to add all of them. What do I mean? Example, let's assume we have stuff like XXX. What that means is 10 plus 10 plus 10. That gives us what? 30, right? If we have stuff like CCC, what that means 100 plus 100 plus 100, that gives us 300, right? So let's take example. Let's assume we have stuff like LXXX, right? Since you see that these figures are repeating, we'll just break it down from here, right? Look at this now. This is 15 itself, and if you watch, this is, if you add all of these 10 together, we're having 30. So since 50 is higher than 30, we simply add both, which gives us what? Which gives us 80. Very simple to understand. Let's assume we're having stuffs like let's assume we have DCCIX, for instance, right? DCC. Look at now, let's break this down. Since we're having these two, let's just take it down from here. Let's take this one out, DCC out. D stands for 500, right? CC stands for 200. So since 500 is higher than 200, we simply add both, which gives us what? 700. And look at this now, IOX is simply number 9. So 700 is greater than 9, we just add both, right? So we have 700 plus 9 gives us what? 709. It's quite simple. It's knowing the numbers that are higher, the numbers that are lower, and the numbers that are repeating themselves, right? So let's assume we have stuff like let me just take an example here. Let's assume we have stuff like what do I use now? Let's assume we have CXX. What that means is 100 plus what? XS means 20. That gives us 120. Very simple, right? So we'll be taking 5 questions from the knowledge of all 3 laws. let's take 5 questions that regards to Roman figures. That way to help us imbibe the law we've learned over the videos. I'll see you in the next class, guys. Thank you. Alright guys, looking at the question, it said write in natural numbers, right? It means we should just convert this to natural numbers. So I'm saying they're asking us to convert MD, CC, XL, IV. Right? What we'll do is to break it down into twos. Right? Like I told you, just break it down into twos. And afterward, you add all the numbers. Right? So if you look at this now, M, let's look at this. The first law, M here is 1000, D is 500. So this guy is bigger than this one, right? I think M is bigger than 500, right? So since M is bigger than 500, what we simply do is to add both of them. To add both of them, we have 1500. Look at the CC, they're repeating itself, it's a repeating figure, right? So it's 100 plus 100, which is what? Which is 200. Right, now look at X. X is 10, L is 50. Right, if you watch, 50, 10 is coming first. Right, you can see the smaller number here is 10 and it's coming first. So look at 10 coming first before 50. So what do we do is to subtract, right? I said we do subtract them, saying 50 minus 10, which is 40, right? So this answer, we'll add it to our group here, plus 40, right? And last but not the least, we have IV. This is I is the smaller number coming first. This is 1 and this is 5. If you look at them, you see that the smaller number is coming first before the higher number. So IV there is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So we add it to what we have here, 4. Right? So in total, we have 1500 plus what? Plus 200 plus what? Plus 40 plus what? Plus 4. Right? So if you look at that, what do we have? By doing everything, we have 1744. Yeah. Total number there is 1744. Right? If you don't like this way, you can do it. We might want to do the other way, whereby we might want to see MD is 1500, right? And then what? We have CC is 200. They are repeating themselves, so it's 100 plus 100 giving us 200. And then we have XL. Since the smaller number is coming first, this smaller number, this X, which is 10, is coming first. We'll subtract 50 from 10, which is 50 minus 10, giving us what? 40, right? And then what do we have? We have IV. Check further. We have IV. Right? I is a small number, which is 1. V is 5. So if we subtract that, 5 minus 1, we're going to have 4. So if we add all of them together by adding them, 1500 plus 200 plus 40 plus 4, we have 1744 as our answer. I hope you understand what we just did with this video. Let's take example 2 and see how we can solve using the laws. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you. Okay, looking at example 2, we have M, D, X, C, I. So let's break it down. We have this MM, we have DX and CII. So let's just put it on the chart. Look at this. These two, they are repeating, right? So M is 1000, 1000. Both of them gives us what? 2000, right? If you look at this is D, which is what? 500. This is X, which is 10. If you watch, 500 is larger than 10. So what do? We add both of them. 500 plus 10, that gives us what? 510. So if we add them, we have 510 here. Now look at this. This is C. C is 100. II is basically what? II is 2. So So if we add both of them, because this guy is greater than this guy, we're adding both. That gives us what? 102. So with that, we have 102. So let's add them up. We have 2000 plus 510 plus 102. If we take the sum operator of both, I believe we're going to have 2000. And then we have 510. And then what do we have? We have 102. So if we add all of them, if we add this, we have 2. If we add this, we have 1. If we add this, we have 6, and we have 2. So the answer is 2612. The final answer is 2612. That's the final answer to this question. Finally, let's look at example number 3. I'll just drop example number 3 for you. You solve it and leave your answer on the comment section. I'll see you in the next video, man. For example number 3, the question asks us to add up XC LVI plus CD XLIV. So let's look at XC. The first one there is XC LVI, right? So let's break it down. If we can break it, we have XC and then we have LVI. So looking at this, we have XC. What's XC? This is 10. This is 100. So what do? It's going to be 100 minus 10, right? 100 minus 10, which is 90. So everything we have here is simply 90 because the smaller number is coming first before the larger number. So we subtract them, right? We have 90. And look at this. This is L. L is what? L is 50, right? VI is what? Is 6, right? You should know if you have VI is 6. So we have 50 and 6. Since this is coming before this larger number, it is larger than 6. We add them up. It gives us what? 56. So if we add this 90 plus 56, we're going to have 146, right? That's the first one. So for the other one, what do we have? For the other one, we have CD XL IV, right? So let's break it down. Let's break it into 2. This is CD. So C here is 100, D here is 500. So what do? We subtract. 500 minus 100 gives us what? 400. So let's break this into 2 as well. We have XL. X is 10. This is what? This is 50. So since 10 is coming before 50, it means we are going to subtract, right? 50 minus 10 gives us what? 40, right? And then we have IV, which is what? Which is 4, right? So if you add all of them up, we're going to have 400 and what? And 44, right? So in everything we are doing, it means we are adding up 146 plus 444. So if we add them up, what do we have? 444 plus 146. What do we have? This is 0, carry 1 here, 1 plus 4 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9, and then we have 4 plus 1, which is what? Which is 5. Final answer is 590. So looking at all of these that we've done, I'll drop some questions for you to try and perform your operators on, and then you leave your answers in the comment section. Until then, my name remains Chidebere Christian. Thank you for liking, for sharing the video, and for subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.